Alright, welcome everybody to today's Dev Chat, where we have our character of the day, Jonathan. And let's get into what we're doing today. Let's not waste any time. So, what I'm doing now is I need to turn these, well, not all of these are buttons, but you know, these, and these are buttons. Now I need to turn all of the buttons here into actual buttons that work in Unity. And then after that I need to do these. And then I need to save that and send that to the programmer, which I'll send to after the stream. But we'll work on that during the stream, and then we'll see where we can go after that. I have several things out here. This should not take too long, so should be rather quick. And if anybody's wondering about this blank space under here, that is on purpose because I need to save a version with it unpressed and with it pressed. Again, part of what we'll be doing today. So first, let's crop this one, and we'll save this into a new folder here called deck selector buttons, and then we'll put it inside of this folder, and we need to call this we'll call it panels button unpressed. Okay, now we need to make the press version, which the press version will be, we just take this and move it down to there, and then we'll save this as pressed. Alright, there's one button handled. Although, I still have to figure out how we're going to do the hover. Because we need something for hover, and I still haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do for that, but we'll get there eventually. But for now, we're not going to be putting that in engine. But this will be going into the engine pretty soon. Like, hopefully tomorrow soon. Because the deck selector is currently being made. So this should be good for button, and we'll call this alien sort button unpressed. Now we need to make the press version. Okay, let's undo, get our stuff back. There we go. We'll get rid of that one. See, we're making fast progress in this. This is not a big task. Okay, let's see here. We'll say this is unpressed, and this is military. Still unsure what I'm going to call the sci-fi military. I mean, the best name I've got going so far is Enforcers. And that may be what we go with. I don't know. But still looking out for potentials there. And we'll save this out as pressed. There we go. Another button done. So let's get rid of that. Now we gotta do the cyberpunk button. So let's save it out. We need to grab that one. And we'll call this cyberpunk unpressed. Save it. And now we need the press version. There's our press version. And that gets that button done. And we'll move on to something more entertaining here in a second. What am I doing? This. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. This is a thing. Okay, this is, time travel button unpressed. Now we need a press version. There we go. That finishes up that button. So we'll then crop that and get rid of that one. Alright, we got machines next. And come on. Machines. Button unpressed. Alright, now we need the press version. Alright, here we go. That one's done. Pretty quick task here. That I needed to do already. This would be grab that one. Bet button unpressed, which will put stuff in alphabetical order. We'll do this. Now this would be the pressed version. Okay, that's done. One of these buttons left. And then we're done with this set of buttons. We have 3 other buttons after this, but this set of buttons will be done. Home, unpressed. Okay, now we need a press version. Pressed. Okay. That will finish that off. Now we need to get these buttons here. So these are on this layer. So So on these, what I'm going to do, select right there, because I want it to come down and completely cover that glow when it's pressed. So let's, I'll just cut it so we know we got it done. Oh, never mind. I want to put this text on here for now. I mean, like, I don't know what text we're going to use in the end. What did I just do? But I can easily take that off when the time comes. And, you know, fix it then. But for now, we need this text. We're going to need some text on here. And we're not ready to put final text in here because we don't know what our final font will be. Okay, we'll paste that in here. We'll save this. We need, come on, edit, button unpressed. And then we need to move it down into the press position. Pressed. Okay. Now we need to grab this use button. It should be the same exact size. Yep. And we'll rename that use and unpressed. There we go. Now we need a pressed version. And then we have one more button, and we're done with buttons. For now. For now. For this stream. We'll call this the back button. And this would be unpressed. And now we need a press version. Alright. That'll do it for those. And that'll do it for that. We don't need that anymore. Now then, that's done. Oh, excuse me. Need to work on the next thing. So, next thing, we're going back to the friends list. And I've apparently already done that. Okay, next thing on the list. Let's see here. Let me move this down here. So the next thing on the list is what do we want to work on next? Either way, we don't need this screen. Let's see here. Let's look at the files. See here, we can either work on the card back logo, which I don't want to do right now. We could work on the options menu or the win-lose screen. Option menu and the win-lose screen would both be on the game layer, which would be here. Which we've already done the game win-lose screen. Okay. Well, we've already done 3 things on the list because 2 of them are already done. Alright. I feel like we're making progress, even though we haven't really made progress. Not much, anyway. Okay, well, that puts it down to either the card back logo or the options menu. And I don't want to work on the card back logo right now. So I guess that puts the options menu. So, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that, that, and that. We do need this. Actually, so we'll use this for 2 things, like that. Okay. Now we need an options screen. So, first thing we need is our font that we've been using, which I believe was this one. We'll put option menu right about there. Okay. I know we're going to need a volume slider, of course. It'd be a red flag without one, a red flag game. So, how do we want to design a... Let's name this options menu. So, I want to carry through with the aesthetics. So, how can we do this? It needs to be readable. I really want to use this glow, the glow bars, but that would be that would be better for the slider, or the button on the slider, whatever you would call that thing, you know, not the actual slider itself. Let's put volume. Let's put that about there, and let's make it a little bit smaller. Like that, yeah. Okay, let's see here. I could use the white from the cards. It might be better to actually do a background behind it like this. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So let's is this the best thing to copy? Probably not. Let me see here. What would be the best thing to copy for this? Probably the deck. And after I said we weren't going to need this, we open it right back up. So let's now get rid of that. Let's see here. Let's paste that in here like that. Okay. What I'm actually going to do is put this on a different layer under here. Maybe that. And I'll take this part and I'll move this down here, about like that. Instead of deleting that, what I'll do is take that and move. Let's just take this and move this over here, about like so. We'll grab this and take this and put this over here-ish. Okay, let's grab this. Let's span this out. And then we need to make sure those meet up right. Really dang close. One pixel. Okay. Now then I need to take this and pull this up like so. Now I need to make these things line up. Properly. Like so. And we'll grab this one. Line up like so. And then I grab this and I pull this across. Wait, what happened? I foobarred this a minute ago. Didn't realize it. Okay, let's move this back up to where I had it. Okay. Let's come back in here. And I'll move all of this down about there-ish. And then I'll take this and I'll move this over to about there-ish. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this pop out here. First, what I'll do is grab it here, bring it on the right layer, hopefully, and then I do like this. Yep. Now I'll grab these and bring these down like so. There we go. Now then, I want a better corner than this. I want a corner like this. Actually, better idea. Better idea. What I want to do is come down right in here. It's about there-ish. So if I grab this color here, and I need to see how thick it needs to be. It needs to be whatever thickness this is here, and this is worth it. So I need to come right around here ish. Gives us a little bit of breathing room, like maybe here. And then delete that. Make sure we got the right color. And then this needs to come down. About there. Let's see here. That's almost perfect. I probably need a little bit of buffer here. Probably at least 3. Okay. Let's see here. There's 2 thick. That's 3 thick. And then this will be 4 thick. Like that. I believe. Looks thicker than 4. But it is 4. Okay. So then now this would come off this way. So what I now want is for this thing to actually cooperate. Art program. So we'll grab this. And we'll pull it down like so. Right. And then I'll select this. And I'll pull this across like that. There we go. Now then, turn that down. Get rid of that, that, and that. Alright. Probably going to need to take out some of that breathing room I gave it. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay, first I think I might should center this options menu text. I probably should have already did that. Okay, this comes out to 390. Okay. And this comes out to be 322. So it needs to come over that way some. That's the reason why I give it that breathing room. I should have just done this before and not give it breathing room and just got it right the first time. Okay, that's 363. And this is... So it still needs another, like, 7. 7. Now what I can do is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey Anton, what's up? Welcome back. I don't know if you've been here this entire time or not, but I was going through my to-do list and we got the first thing done, and it was like, let's move on to the second thing. Wait a minute, the second thing's already done. Let's move on to the third thing. Wait a minute, the third thing's already done. Well, let's move on to the fourth thing. Okay, we actually have something to do now. Ah, nice, nice. Have you... The last episode of that series will be next week, because next week the next one will be community management focused. That'll be the last part. I think that's one of our best, if not our best, series we've made so far on that. I really like that series. And really want to make another series like that. I want to do, now that we started that, I really want to keep on going with we're just keep on doing series, but we still don't know what we're going to do after that, which is pretty normal for us, but I don't want that to be normal. I'm glad it's helpful. That's the goal of it. It's happy that it's doing its job. It is just a overview kind of thing, so like it's not, well, it is technically everything you need to know to succeed, basically. anyway, it's not like the details of everything. It's not. It's like the what would be the correct term? It's like that is not the right color. It's like a oh, what do you call it in a book when it tells you which chapters are in a book, kind of thing. I am blanking on that word. But yeah, it's sort of like one of those. I mean, it's not giving you everything of those chapters. It's just telling you what chapters you're going to need, kind of thing. If that makes any sense. I forget what they call that, and I don't know why. I'm just completely blanking. Glossary. I think that would be right, yeah. Yeah, it's like the glossary of how to, or index of how to succeed at game dev, kind of thing. It's technically everything is there. It's just there in summary / lookup format rather than, you know, here's completely exhaustive everything you need to know, kind of thing. It's just a guide to what you need to know. But I think that is like super helpful because a lot of indies, including myself a few years ago, didn't know this stuff, you know. I mean, you know, I've gained my knowledge from multiple places. You know, I've had some amazing game dev mentors, you know. Latch from Berserk Games, or Berserk Studios, rather. At least I think it's Berserk Studios. Makers of Just Shapes and Beats. You know, Laurent McCurr, Tomo Moriwaki. Not only that have I had those people, but, you know, when my last game failed to commercially succeed, I went in a expedition, if you were, to why my game failed. And I looked at it and looked and looked and looked to see why it failed. And in that journey, I learned many things that, you know, which is where I learned the whole art aesthetics thing, because that was the biggest killer of our last game, which is the reason why when I started Neon Continuum on our second game kind of thing, you know, I was like, okay, I know we can't do AAA levels of graphics, but I want to get as close to that as I possibly can. You know, we're going to give it our all, kind of thing, because if we do not put the best graphics we can possibly put in here, the best art aesthetics, then we're going to fail. And the better we can do, the more likely we are to succeed there. Hence, I started learning everything I could about art. And then I kind of shocked myself by, you know, actually being able to make this UI and everything, you know. And thanks. Because, like, I won't say I didn't have any artistic skills before this, but, like, I studied art in high school for, like, 5 years. I had 5 years of, or 5 or 6 years worth of high school art in high school with only I didn't get failed or held back. We just had swapped to block scheduling, and I took advantage of it and said, you know what, we're only going to have art like half a year. I was like, I want it all year, every year. So, like, I took, like, like we were not on block scheduling for the first, like, year or two that I was in high school. So, like, the first year or two, I was in art all year for art 1, and then art all year for art 2, or yeah. And then when it came to my junior year, that's when it was like, we're swapping to block scheduling, and you're going to take stuff, So, like, at that point, I took art 3 for the first half of that year, and then I took art 4 for the second half, and then I took, for my senior year, I took art advanced and art advanced. So, yeah, I got 6 years worth of high school art. Of course, we did not do pixel art or anything close to it. And I would say, for the most part, pretty much all the knowledge that I have from that time is kind of pointless to me right now. So, like, because, like, I was mainly trained on painting and, like, clay and oil pastels and all that stuff, and I was trained in doing freeform type of art, like your Picassos and your, all your classic kind of art. So, like, your Starry Nights and all that, and that doesn't really apply to game development. and even the colors in reality does not even apply to game dev, because colors in a digital space are very, very different. Like, if you're talking about colors in the real space, you take, your yellow and your blue and your red, and then you take your white and your black, and then from these 5 colors, you make any color that exists. Combine these 2, you get green. Combine these 2, you get a purple. You combine these 2, you get a orange. And then you can lighten it up or darken it up with these. But then when you're talking about, like this kind of art, not only are you not, like, you do have kind of the same thing here with the, blue, and red combined into this purple, and then, yellow and, red equals the orange, and yellow and blue equals the green kind of thing. But then you have all this cyan here, which doesn't make sense in the point of all this, because cyan would actually be more down here. It'd be a lightened up blue rather than just a different spot on the color wheel. And, like, the fact that white's over here and black is kind of nowhere in here, yet it's over here in the middle of white. A lot of this doesn't make sense in terms of traditional art. And then, this is your if we go over here, this is, you know, your actual color right here. And saturation, something we were not taught in school, but that's basically adding white to the image kind of thing, but not exactly adding white to the color, but for the most part it's very analog to this. And this is almost like basically adding black to the color, but not exactly. You know, and you know, it's there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, is what I'm getting at. And of course, when I created my art back then, nothing was remotely like this. Like, you want to see some of my old art from well, let me put this over here before I just explore out here. Don't want anything top secret to be shown. Okay. So this is a still life I did. It's hung up in the kitchen in a frame on this one. And I really didn't like this image. I still really don't, but my family does. But this next one is the one that I really was known well for, and this was my interpretation of the Scream. This painting took me forever. Like I had to tediously paint with a very, very small paintbrush in these little lines here, and it took me forever. I think just painting this body orange and purple, I think took me something like 6 or 7 months to do. And then I did this, you know, I got that done. I had the face painted. I think I had the orange painted. And then my art teacher was like, you know, came to me. She's like, "You've spent like 6, 7 months on this thing. You've got to finish this thing today." I was like, "But there's no background." She's like, "Well, then put a background in there today." So in one day, I just swiped all this background on here. But like at the end of art class, like everybody in my class was offering to buy this off of me. You know, the art students were offering hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this painting. This picture doesn't really do it justice. It looks worlds better than this. But yeah, it was it's actually based off of a famous painting called The Scream. Are you familiar with the Scream painting? Let's see here if I can find it. Because our art assignment was take a famous painting and then make it ours. Made by Edward Munch. And that's it right there. That's the Scream right there. So basically, I took this painting here, and my interpretation was that the reason why he was screaming is because there was a nuke about to hit the ground. So he's screaming, you know, that there's a nuke about to hit the ground, and this is after the nuke hit the ground. You know, he's all mutated and everything. You know, like you look at the eye shape, you know, still here. You know, you look at the mouth shape, you know, still there. You know, you got the 2 hands holding the face, and you got the 2 mutant hands holding the face, kind of thing, and this other one mutated out here. You got the whole wavy body and everything. You got the whole mutated wavy body here, kind of thing, with extra waves inside of it. You know, you've got the whole wavy background back here. You've got the whole wavy background back here, you know. And, yeah, like, This was, you know, the scream after the nuke. Is what I called it. What's the name of that painting? And like I said, everybody was nuts over this painting. Everybody wanted it. High schoolers wanted this painting and were willing to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this. It's hard to find a high schooler willing to pay hundreds of dollars for anything. Even a car, you know? But yeah, it looks a lot better than this image will, because, I mean, it's obviously inside of a case here, you know, with blur everywhere because of the light sources and everything else. But, yeah. But that was the main kind of art I did back then in art class. So, like, pretty much none of that applies here because so, like, I mean, like, I kind of had to relearn art in a lot of ways, kind of thing. Still relearning it, for that matter. But yeah, it's very, very different from what I used to do. Okay. Let's merge these down. Delete that. But yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't technically at 0 when I started this. I mean, I made really crappy art in Chromasia, and I had made art before that was in a completely different medium. That was very, very different, and pretty much a lot of the rules did not carry over. So it hasn't, not like, you know, it's just easy to transfer over kind of thing, or anything like that. And I wouldn't even really say it transferred over at all in a lot of ways. Now what I want is a corner like this. So this has 3 by 3 on the inside. Okay, where is it again? There it is. So, did that not select the right color? Is something selected? There we go. Okay. Now this needs to be 4. Needs to be right there. But it's hard to explain, but I wasn't at ground zero, but I definitely was not anywhere I needed to be, basically. Because, like, when you look at my last game, keep in mind that this is the art I made after many, many iterations and whatnot. And that it was far worse than this before. This is not good pixel art. It's not bad pixel art, but it's not good, and it's definitely very mismatched. Like these trees and these bushes and this grass do not match. But they match each other, but they don't match the weeds, they don't match the road, they don't match the castle, they don't match a lot of stuff, and like this edge is way too straight. And there's all kinds of issues here, you know. You can see the closer up of how this here looks all blotchy and kind of staticky, where this actually looks like tiles kind of thing. Not good tiles, but tiles nonetheless. I at least didn't do a flat line around here for the grass. That's one thing I had going for me, at least. But yeah. No, I did not do any of the programming. I can program in the vaguest sense of the word, but I am not a programmer. Oh, the writing. Yeah. I did all the writing. Did all the writing. I did all of pretty much everything. The only things I didn't do for Chromasia was the programming. If it was, I don't know it. That's at least not off the top of my head. What were you referring to? What Rocky was saying about what was it? Here, let me just pull up the script real quick. Design writing. Okay. Here's the story script here. Let's see here. Scroll down. This is a little thing most people didn't know. When you're selecting your 6 characters at the beginning, well, when you're selecting your 3 characters, rather, you get Rocky, Sai, and Violet, plus then you get to choose the others 3. So if you choose one of each type, Violet will say, well, that's a nice, well-rounded team. I like your tactics. If you choose an unbalanced team, like 2 rocks and 1 paper or something like that, or she's like, that's quite an unorthodox team, but you're the master of tactics. If you choose one that of all one type, excluding rocks, so if you choose all 3 papers or all 3 scissors kind of thing, she'll be like, are you sure about that team? Well, you are the master of tactics. You know better than me. By the way, before this, for some context, Rocky says you should take all rocks, and Violet says no rock for brains. You should bring a variety. And then if you choose all rocks, she'll say, are you sure about... Oh, no. If you choose all rocks, Rocky will say, man, you rocked, Sai. And Violet will be like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? So there is dynamic dialogue in some parts of this. And there will be a lot more in the remake when we do the remake. Let's see here, see if I can find that scene. It's one of these first scenes. Oh, I think this... I think this is the scene you're talking about right here. Random red, stay alert. We can't let them get past us. Other random red, there they are. Violet, oh well, for sneaking through. Rocky, sneaking. I'm here to kill names and bash asses, and I'm all out of memory. Violet, That's not how it goes, Rocky. It's take names and kick ass. Rocky, I'm no thief. I'm not going to take any of their names. They have stupid names anyways. It might be. I didn't get it from Duke Nukem, but like because I've never played Duke Nukem, but it may be. Technically. I just knew the um I knew it from just it may have came from Duke Nukem, but I never heard it from Duke Nukem. Very nice play on words, thanks. Oh, like there's let me see if I can find everybody's favorite cutscene here, real quick. It's really funny. Uh, this is dealing with endings here. Still dealing with endings. Still dealing with endings. This is like, you know, like I think the third and fourth ending in the game. There's like 8 endings, 9 endings in the game. That's chill. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Ah. I didn't see that either. But I knew that phrase. Okay. Here goes everybody's favorite cutscene right here. Random blue. The purple traders are here. Other random blue. I'm gonna kill them and get a promotion to the top position. Rocky. I'm gonna pound that guy until he screams out in pain. Dot dot dot. Rocky. Dot dot dot. What, Violet? Do you realize what you just said? I said I'm gonna pound that guy until he screams out in pain. Yes, you did. Your point? Rock for brains. But as you can see, there's a lot of writing in here. It just keeps on going and going. There's still more down here. Yep, that's the end of it. So yeah, I mean, this is a text file. Is just a notepad file, and that notepad file is 55.8 kbytes for a Word file. That's a lot of words. This is the to-do list for the remake here, and it's 92.82 kilobytes. Like, this is all the stuff I'm planning on adding and changing in the remake. There's a lot of stuff here for the remake. That's just the to-do list, you know, that's not even... But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going into that remake. Going to go into that remake, rather. And, like, most people don't realize it, but the story in Chromasia is actually... It's two things. It's both... I'm having brain fart. It's both, very serious and very funny at the same time. Because, you know, a lot of people mistake it for being something that it's not. It has a very dark story in it. And the best analogy to kind of get an image of kind of what the, you know, story and everything is about kind of thing, without telling you what it's about, would be, or experiencing it, would be that, think of it, you know, in terms of a war movie, you know, where people are dying, it's everything's going wrong and everything, you know, lots of death, lots of bad things happening. But at the same time, you have somebody on your team that is a lovable dumbass that says the craziest, funniest shit. The comic relief of the, you know, the military, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the overall kind of thing with it, you know, feeling, and it's both dark as well as comedy. But it's not dark comedy. Which is one thing people, you know, mistake with it. Alright, I've got a base here for the layout here for the options menu. I think I want to make this a little bit smaller. Yeah. And I do need to balance these things out, but I don't want to do that right now. I should probably leave a note to myself. Because I'll probably be ending the stream here in a minute. But these need to be adjusted. Probably do that in the next stream. But the whole story behind Chromasia is actually one on discrimination, you know. They have racism against each other because it's red versus blue and that kind of thing. It's a very lot of issues they have to deal with kind of thing, and you know, and yeah, it's not there to preach to you or anything like that. It's there to, you know, let you see why discrimination is not good, you know. It's teaching you by just letting you see why it's stupid, you know. And then it allows you to make up your own mind. It just shows you why you shouldn't, you know. And I think most people that step away from it will agree that discrimination is stupid, you know, whether it's racism, you know, sexism, whatever ism, you know. And of course, Neon Continuum has similar messages in it, but the messages I'm giving in Neon Continuum's story is which I suspect Neon Continuum is probably going to have about 5 times more actual story in it in the first set, and then it's going to have, you know, 5, you know, that again in the second set, and the third set, and the fourth set, and fifth set, and every set after that. So it'll have worlds more story than Chromatia did, at least I think. But the story in Neon Continuum is going to revolve around 2 main things as, you know, showing kind of thing. Environmental, you know, care, you know, about taking care of our world before our world ends up like this world, kind of thing. And the issue with corporations. A lot of the corporate behaviors and whatnot. I feel like this is too wide here, but we'll see as we go farther. I do want to at least prototype out a slider here before we end. We're already past time, but I really want to go a little bit farther at least. So I think what I might do here is for a volume slider, maybe go with maybe a 6 thick line. And I think somebody just messed with my heating and turned on the heat when I had the air conditioner on. And that's not good, because I am going to absolutely burn up in here in a minute, if that's the case. And seeing how I smell it, pretty sure that's the case. Somebody's sabotaging me. Now, I'm going to need to measure these out and get these exact, but right now I'm just roughing something out. These are definitely very not even. Man, that heat stinks. Okay. Then grab this color here. And yeah, right here. We'll go with this line. We'll go 1 thick. And I'll put our slider right here. Now we'll go 3 thick like all the other lines. And then I'll copy this. paste this over here-ish. And then let's bring this up about like that. Bring that over. That. Then we'll copy that. We'll make a new layer here. We'll paste it onto this layer, and we will flip this layer. Not that direction. Vertically. That was not what I wanted to do. Oh. That's not what should be happening. This layer should be flipped vertically. There we go. I don't know why I didn't do it right the first time. Okay, and then we can merge those layers down. And then what do I want to put on the inside of this? That's not what I want to do. Let me see here. Let me look at other images. Maybe I just put white in the middle of it. Be sure that white's not really readable. So it can't be the white. So what can it be? I don't want to use any of those colors. Maybe I just make it solid. Like that. Maybe. What I'm going to do is technically make this a different color just slightly, so that I can undo this if I need to. So you won't notice that it's a different color, but you can see that it's a different color if I select it there. So I won't have to redo that work if that doesn't work. But yeah, anyway, we're going to go ahead and end the stream here right after I save it. Alright, thank you everybody for watching, and make sure you join the Discord if you want to play Neon Continuum soon. And we'll definitely be playing it, well, not tomorrow Saturday, but the Saturday after that. I didn't realize it was that close. Our next dev chat. I mean, dev stream. Yeah, dev chat. That dev chat. Not dev stream. Our next dev chat will be on the 1st. And the next dev stream will be on the 1st, just like this one. And then the day after that, we'll be on our Discord where we'll be playing Neon Continuum, and anybody can get on it. We may have a chance for people to play, 2 people to play, at some point between now and then, but definitely on the 2nd. Alright, anyway, thank you all for watching. See you next time, and until then, I'm out.